Mami. Tunggu sana. Mami, මටත් පොඩ්ඩක් දෙන්න කරන්න. ඕරු ගහන්න. ඕරු වල ගහුවම් පස්සේ දැන් මේ කෙලින්ම තමයි යන්න ඕනේ නේද?
නීල ගොයම් රැල්ලේ පාවෙලා ඈත සිසිල් සුවඳේ හාවෙලා
මේ කරනවා හරිද?
රැට පැලේ තනි වී ගයා උදේ මා බලන්නට එනවා දෝයා නීල ගොයම් රැල්ලේ පාවෙලා
දැන් මේ වතුර පාර එක පැත්තකින් තව පැත්තකට යන්න ඕනේ. එහෙමයි වෙන්න ඕනේ.
රැට පැලේ තනි වී ගයා උදේ මා බලන්නට එනවා දෝයා
අපි ගිහලා එන්න ජයවර්ධන මාමේ. ඔන්න එහෙනම්. කොහොම ඉස්සද දෙයියගේ පිටයි. කට්ටියටම ගිහින් එන්නම්. You know, this time around, I'm applying to become a king. You know why? Because it's said in the old days that when a farmer washes the mud off, you're in fact suitable to become a king. And I'm going to apply for kingship. I'm going to be a king. So, we are in the village and we're going to do something absolutely different. Some village style cooking. I want you to join me in the great food safari. Didn't I tell you today is going to be fabulous? Look at this place. Isn't it amazing? Unbelievable. I'm so excited. Look at the water behind and it just gushes through. And the water is so cold. While having said all that, I'm getting myself a pedicure as well. Unbelievable. There's this tiny little fish that come and, try to eat all your dead skin and all that. Every now and then there's a big fellow that comes and bites, but I'm used to it. I've been standing here for a while. Today, we're going to start off with something pretty interesting. Something that I want to experiment, it's health-wise, it's going to be fabulous because we're going to use a vegetable that is not very, very demanded by the home front. Let's see how it's going to happen. Let's see what the outcome is going to be. I have no idea. It's all about experimenting. So, what we're going to do is use this naughty little baby over here. As you know, it's called bitterground. Some call it karavila. Most of us know it as karavila. And we're going to use this and a little bit of to add in the texture, we will be using a little bit of baby corn. You see, baby corn is very popular these days. If you go to a supermarket, you can find it everywhere. But unfortunately, yesterday when I went shopping, I couldn't find the fresh baby corn. So I had to resort to a tin. So we're going to use that as well. And of course, the main ingredient of this dish is going to be, these bad boys, okay? So we're going to use eggs and we are trying to figure out how we are going to make a karavila omelette. Sounds a bit creepy, but I'm sure it's going to turn out good. So what we're going to do is start off. Everything is washed. There's so much of water here. Cut it in half. Cut it in half again. And then just use your finger and de-seed. I'm not putting anything to the water. There is a ready-made, a tailor-made dustbin just underneath. So don't think that I'm putting anything into the water. You got to keep these places clean. We'll cut them thin. Why we need to cut it thin is, these bad boys are very, very bitter. So the more you cut it thin. And we're going to do something after that which will take the bitterness off, and I'm sure all our mothers do that. It's very simple. You put it in some salt and water and then squeeze it out and leave it for some time if you can, and that will take all the bitterness out of the bitter ground. Right, there we are. We'll take this straight in here. Right, so what we're going to do now is what our parents always do with karavila. It's going to take some salt, quite a lot, like that. That goes in. Take some water. This is of course fresh water. Put a little bit there. And then give it a good squeeze, like that. What this does, it to a certain extent, it takes off all the bitterness. Give it a good squeeze. Right. And then I'm going to take this and give the litties a herbal drink. There we are. We give it a good squeeze. Right. What we're going to do now is, whenever you're buying a can from the supermarket, you got to see that there is always dirt and dust collected on top. So the best thing would be to give it a little rinse so that nothing goes, because the moment the can opens, everything that's going to the juice, the liquid, whatever it is, whether it's a sardine tin or whether it's whatever you're preparing, the sauce will come out and get mixed with this with the top. So better to have it clean and then just pop it out like so. There we are. Nice and crunchy. You got to be very gentle with canned baby corn because it's already soaked in salt and a little bit of preservative, so it's very, very tender. If you try to be aggressive with it, it's going to just chop and lose all the texture and the beautiful flower design as well. So be careful, don't rush things. So we're going to leave it to a side like that. Yeah. Chilies. We are a spicy nation, so that, and a beautiful big onion. Now the secret in cutting a big onion, if you want really small pieces, it's very simple. Cut it in half. I'm not going to teach you again. So what we do next is draw little lines like that. Not right through, but you stop it halfway. Use the edge of the knife, like so, and then put it horizontal and just go like that. Now, all you got to do is just, you can see how easy it is to get the smallest piece of onion cut. And the last bit, chop, 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 chop. See what happens when you remove the head, it's all loosens up. So you might as well have the head and then cut it. And then it becomes so tiny that it doesn't matter. It doesn't taste anything at all. So here you should take that and leave it all there. We take the chilies. Split it in half like that. If you want to have it very, very thin, give it another cross and then take both babies together. You know, the key, the success in good cooking is you have the right utensils. Life becomes very easy when you got the right stuff to do your work. Right, now what we're going to do is to crack the eggs. Five and one for me. So that makes it 6. Right. Now we'll give it a little. You don't have to, you don't have to whisk it a lot. Just make sure that the fork works through it and all those big pieces of yolk is just broken down, so that every part of the omelette will get the flavor. Because if there are thick yolk pieces still in the egg without being broken, then remember there is salt, and there is a certain amount of salt already in the bitter gourd, so be careful. If you want more, you can add later on, but for the moment. And then you can just use your imagination. Go on to some pepper, which is very important. Put in a little bit of chili flakes as well. Then you can use some, to give it a little sweetness, you can use some soy sauce. And I'm still having this idea of the bitter gourd being very bitter, so I'm going to use a bit of stock powder as well, just to give it a little bit of flavor, not much. We will now whisk it. Now you need to give this a good mix, because if you're using a stock cube, it will not get dissolved. So you need to break it down into pieces. And then we're going to transfer this into this pan over here. And then start adding, first of all, then the onions, then of course all the chilies, and then the baby corn. There we are. Give it a nice stir. Now we'll get rid of the fork. We'll use this pan over here. You can see how colorful it is. There is green, there is yellow, there is giving a little bit of red from the chili flakes. Yeah, it looks nice. We are going to turn off the gas and let it heat it up. So what we're going to do is add some oil. There we are. And it's when you're doing an omelette, always remember to have it closed while it's cooking, because then the center and whatever underneath, it says time for it to get cooked. So you need to have something to close this while the omelette is being cooked. Right, by doing so you can see whether, and you get a nice even spread. Right, leave it like that. So just leave it on moderate temperature and let it cook for a while. Right, so after a while you can see there is still a little bit of liquid. So what we're going to do is, I'm not going to toss this because I don't want to take a chance by tossing it onto the water. So what you do is make sure that it's nice and moving, right? This is a very simple trick. So what you do is put your plate over like that, cover it, give it a, there we are, and just slide it back. That does it. Simple as that. And just give it a few minutes. You just need to take the liquid off from the top, which you turn just over, that you flip. So all you got to do is just give it a few minutes, just a couple of minutes, and then it starts moving again, and then you're done. There we are. Beautiful. Looks beautiful. I walked around. This place is amazing. This place is beautiful. So I picked this. Look at the color of this. Such beauty. Leave it over there. How about that? Fit to go on an airline. Right. I'm going to just take a tiny bitty piece off there. Have it hot. That's the secret. I'm telling you, I don't get any bitterness from the bitter gourd. All it does is give it that zing and that nice texture that, you can hear the sound in your mouth, crunch, 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 crunch. And even the beautiful flavor that you get from the baby corn, it's just fabulous. And then the chili, the fresh chilies that we use, giving out that zing, absolutely amazing. So for a change, if your folks at home doesn't like to eat all these things that I put in this, why don't you try it? It's absolutely amazing. So try it out and let me know. Now we are going to make something yummy, okay? On our way here to the village, we found a beautiful store which had some fabulous this stuff. Yeah, we're going to use some pork, and since we are in the village, I managed to find some beautiful. Look at the color of this. It's so wonderful. This is bees honey. Got it from the village. We are in the village. We are using stuff that we can find from the village. It's a very simple recipe. Lovely, sweet and succulent honey pork. That's what we are going to make. And I've got just a few ingredients. I have the pork already. I have the honey, and I have some beautiful citrus orange. Now this is the key one, which gives that citrus flavor and gives that zing to the entire dish. So what we're going to do, first of all, got a nice piece of meat there, and there is the rib, which is the tastiest part. Unfortunately, we Sri Lankans are not that very keen on having the spare ribs. That's one of my favorites. You have to have the same size. You have to sustain the size. Otherwise, you would have some pieces big, some pieces small. On the fire. I'm not going to marinate or anything. This is a very quick dish. Now what I'm going to do is get this bowl, give it a little massage, and then you need to work out. You need to go to the gym to squeeze this thing out. Right. Orange is done. Well, when you're actually cooking pork, or if you're trying to fry it, you don't need to use oil because the oil comes. But just to ignite it, just put a bit of oil, otherwise it's going to stick into the pan. Otherwise, there's enough of oil there already, so you don't have to worry about that. Nice and hot. You don't need to be very fancy with meat items, It has its own flavor. The moment you start putting things, it's going to ruin the whole dish. Now, this has been sitting for about 5 minutes or so. A little more than that, say about 7 to 8 minutes. Now you can see it's nicely releasing the oils. There's absolutely no water. This is the advantage, this is the benefit that you get when you buy the fresh pork. Otherwise, this thing is going to get covered and all that water is going to sort of boil the entire thing. So it's not recommended. Make sure you get the fresh stuff. And about now, we are going to use an excessive amount of pepper. And the salt. If you are not sure with your salt, leave it for last. Give it a nice stir. Wow, smells fantastic. Just the way I like it. And now, just the right amount of that beautiful orange juice. And leave it open and just let it simmer and reduce. And then it leaves with that beautiful citrus flavor, giving that sweetness to that already sweet pork that you will love. Right, now you can see after about a good, again another 8 to 10 minutes, the entire orange juice that we put has just reduced and there's absolutely nothing, which means all the sweetness of the citrus has been absorbed into the mix, into the pork. Now what we're going to do is, first of all, try to get this open. There we are. And then put the heat down and just give it a nice sprinkle of that beautiful bees honey. Don't keep it too long, it gets caramelized. That's about it. That nice thickness is that what we are looking for. Time for the taste test. Oh. Well, it is simply divine. And for the garnish, this is edible. The people in the village, they do eat this. Look at that. How beautiful is that? Wow, smells fabulous. I am going to just dig in a little bit of gravy as well. Smells fantastic. Divine. It's perfectly cooked, good texture. You can get the beautiful citrusy flavor coming out and make the pork even sweeter. Fabulous. Very simple. Try it at home. Very, very easy to make. You remember, orange juice, honey, and pork. That's all you need. Okay? Try it out. I'm going to vanish with this. And when you see me again, this is going to be bigger. Wonderful coming back to nature, this beautiful surrounding. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you will try one of the dishes that I made for you as well. Until we meet again on yet another great food safari, this is Chrysantha signing off. Bye-bye.